Yo, what's going on, guys? So right now I'm in Mexico visiting my uncle, recharging my batteries a little bit, soaking up this beautiful sun. And I figured I'd take this opportunity to show you guys how I train when I want to spend very minimal time in the gym. And I'm talking even less than what I already do. So obviously the Polarity Fitness routines are already structured to spend minimal time in the gym, right? To get the most out of less time. That's what Polarity Fitness is all about. So the core Polarity Fitness routines are basically 2 workouts per week, right? On, you know, Monday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Friday, whatever. 2 workouts per week, 5 exercises in each workout with 2 hard sets per exercise. That's the core philosophy, right? But at the core of each of those routines is what I like to call a super abbreviated routine, which is essentially a fancy word for going into the gym, dropping the isolation exercises and just hitting your compound lifts hard and then getting the fuck out. So literally like 3 exercise routines, and they are super effective for various scenarios, right? So the whole way I discovered this is that I think a couple of years back, I was going through a very busy period of time, and I did not have much time to spend in the gym. Not like even the 2 workouts per week, my usual 2 full body workouts were a bit too much for me at the time. I couldn't do them, and I was like, you know what, I'm not just gonna stop training, like I gotta still hit the gym, right? So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna drop my isolation exercises, go into the gym, hit my compound lifts really hard, and then just get out, right? And I actually made some of the best gains in my life during that period of time, because what I realized is that a lot of times when you're doing too many exercises, when you have a lot of isolation exercises, it cuts into your resources, it cuts into your focus, your intensity, your energy, and it kind of dilutes the effort and intensity that you could put into your compound movements, which are what are actually going to build your physique. So I dropped the isolation exercises, hit three good exercises. You know, I basically took the core exercises that I prioritized, that sort of 4 to 6 key movements, and I just split it up 2 workouts each week. And I made rapid gains, man, because as I said, my focus, my energy wasn't diluted. I went in there, hit my compounds, and they progressed fast as fuck. And it really reflected on my physique. And so once in a while, I like to just actually use these routines, even when I'm not, like, you know, super busy or I don't have a reason to spend less time in the gym, because they're super effective. So there's a few different scenarios in which you'd want to use these routines. One of which, of course, is if you just want to spend very minimal time in the gym. You're super busy, maybe you're having a busy work period, maybe you just had a newborn child, maybe you're traveling, maybe you're on vacation. These are all different scenarios in which you may want to use these routines, just because, you know, it's better to stay consistent than have the routine be, you know, perfect. There are, you know, a segment of people who could benefit from using these routines right away. And I like to call them extreme hard gainers, which are people who don't respond well to training. Like, they have a very hard time gaining strength. A lot of times they're very skinny under eaters, and they just don't respond to training well. Like, they can't gain strength, they can't gain muscle no matter what they do. A lot of times these routines are fantastic to build that foundation, to build your base before you move on to a well-rounded routine. So obviously, if you were to just do these routines for years on end, you would end up with some imbalances. But don't get it twisted, guys. It is very much possible to build the majority of your physique with very few exercises. Not the way most fucking bozos train, right? If you're going in the gym doing bicep curls, lateral raises, tricep extensions, and then calling it a day, like, of course you're not going to get results. But if you're going in the gym, you're hitting squats, chin-ups, and dips or bench, like, that pretty much covers your entire body. Obviously there's going to be some muscles lagging behind, right? But that's going to cover the majority of your physique. I made some of the best gains of my life, you know, during periods of time where I just cut back to the fucking essentials, dropped the bullshit, dropped the fluff, went in there, crushed some hard sets on my basic movements, got out of the gym, right? And it's super effective. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, man. Last night I had, you know, a few drinks and I'm foggy, man, because I don't drink very often, you know, and my tolerance is quite low. So I went out with my uncle to the town, and it was pretty fun, man. You know, I've been pretty focused and dialed in for the past like 6 months. So I think it's important to take little breaks to let yourself, you know, let loose a little bit. A lot of times I find changing your environment is really like the most effective way to change your life and to have breakthroughs. So like, you know, when you're stuck in your day-to-day routine for long extended periods of time, you're very much in the weeds. You're too close to what you're doing, if you know what I mean. You're too close to your day-to-day. You're too in the details. And it's very important, I think, to take some time to step out and see things from a bird's eye view, which is going to require changing your environment, even if it's just for a few days. Just get out of your fucking day-to-day routine, all the minute details, all the little tasks that you're doing. And it gives you the opportunity to see what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and have breakthroughs, right? And then you always come back super recharged. And don't get me wrong, man, like this stuff, like putting my work away is hard for me, man, because I absolutely love what I do. So it's hard for me to shut off and unplug, but I do it. I force myself to kind of shut things off a little bit because it's so important for, you know, resetting. And a lot of times when you just don't think about your life, when you don't think about what you're doing and all the things you're worrying about, a lot of times your brain works on it. It works on it without you even thinking about it, and you come up with some of the best solutions. Like, I've only been here for a week, and I'm just like, I'm so pumped to go back to Ottawa and start, you know, like I got so many new video ideas. I got so many new ideas for how I'm gonna grow, you know, Polarity Fitness. And I wouldn't have had those sort of breakthroughs, those realizations, if I was just sticking to my day-to-day for long extended periods of time, right? But I think drinking is one of those things that a lot of young guys fuck up. I think they fuck their lives up by drinking too soon. I think, you know, 18 to 25 is really the time to build, to focus on leveling up in all areas of your life. And then later down the road, like, you ought to pay the price when you're young, man. Like, it blows my mind. I live in a university area in Ottawa, and it blows my mind, like, how many guys are wasting their youthfulness, their exuberance, their focus, their fucking liveliness on partying every weekend. It's like, now is the time to build. Like, 18 to 25, this is my opinion, you know, take it with a grain of salt, but that's my opinion. I think a lot of guys have it backwards. You know, when they're young, they party, they hook up with lots of chicks. They're not focused, man. They're not focused on, you know, leveling up. And then by the time they're like 25, 30, and they've gone to university, they're fucking balls deep in debt. And then if an opportunity comes by, they don't have the ability to pursue it. So I think when you're young is the time to stay focused. Don't worry too much about women. Don't worry about partying, things like that. I think that's the way to go. I think you can get ahead of a lot of people if you just take the younger years and fucking focus up, you know. But once in a while, it's nice to kind of have a little bit of fun. As I said, I don't drink very often, but I think it's nice to let loose. As I said, it helps you recharge a little bit. So anyways, I'm gonna be hitting the gym in just a second. I haven't actually trained in about a week, so I took a week off the gym. I like to do that here and there. A lot of guys ask me about deloads. Do I do deloads? I don't do the traditional deloads where you know, take 50% off the bar, you do some reps. I don't do that bullshit. I think it's much more productive to just not train for a week and just give yourself full rest and recovery. Just let yourself recuperate. I don't think traditional deloads are very effective, but you have to listen to your body. I think every 3 to 4 months is a good kind of benchmark for taking some time off the gym. But you have to listen to your body. Whenever you feel those aches and pains, whenever you feel burnt out, whenever your lifts are just not progressing, you're in a deep plateau, all your lifts are stuck, that's a good time to just step back, man. Take like 7 to 10 days off the gym completely. Don't do anything, just walk a little bit. Just rest your body, man. I always come back to the gym like with the ability to hit massive PRs on all my lifts when I take, you know, a good 7 days off. But yeah, apparently this gym has no AC, no fan. So I am going to be absolutely drenched. So I'll see you guys in the gym. So I'm kicking things off here with some incline bench press. This is 2 sets of 6 to 8 reps with 210 pounds. I got 7 reps on this first set, 6 reps on the second set. Basically, I just took the incline bench and supersetted it with weighted chin-ups to save time, which is actually a really good strategy if you want to save time when you're training. Just make sure you're using agonist, antagonist muscle groups. You need to use opposing muscle groups. So for example, if you're doing, you know, overhead press and bench press in the same workout, you don't want to superset them obviously because they use the same musculature. But if you're doing bench press and chin-ups, one is a push, one is a pull, and they don't affect each other's performance. So that's a great way to save time when you're training. You know, hit the first set of the push and then immediately after you hit the set of the pull. And it's a very easy way to get more work done in a shorter period of time. So you can mess around with that. That's why I love doing, you know, pushes and pulls right next to each other in my training sessions, just because they don't affect each other's performance. So I can kind of, you know, I can kind of superset them if I want to save time. So this was the second set of incline bench here, and I'm pretty sure that I got 6 reps here. So man, the heat makes it really hard to train, man. Like it makes it really, I was already drenched at this point, man, and like I'm like hard to breathe, it's super humid. So yeah, it was definitely difficult getting through this training session, but I only did like 5 total sets here. And as you guys can see, like I don't leave reps in the tank like most people do. You know, if you walk into any public gym, most guys are first of all starting with isolation exercises, tons of bicep work, tons of fucking arm work, and they never get anywhere with that. But they also also, like, you know, they neglect the compounds, which is the first biggest issue, but a lot of them just don't know how to train hard, man. They don't know how to train hard. And the key to really building a great physique without living in the gym, there's a few different keys. There's picking big multi-joint exercises, big compound movements that are very bang for your buck. And it's focusing on training them with intensity, pushing them really close to failure, like 0 to 1 reps in reserve on each set. And that's also focusing on getting stronger. So that works as like a system to just build an incredible physique when you're drug-free, when you want to build a great physique without living in the gym. Because what happens when you use a high volume approach and you go through the motions, like, so yeah, some people can make it work. Usually it's steroid users and the genetically elite who can make that training approach work. But what tends to happen is that you end up going through the motions in your workouts when you use lots of volume, because subconsciously, you know, you have so much work to get through, you have to dilute your effort, and that causes you to not train hard enough to stimulate muscle growth. So doing fewer sets but putting more intensity, more effort, more energy into them is always more productive than doing lots of volume and half-assing the sets. 2 quality hard sets are much more productive than 5 half-assed sets. So ideally, you want to stimulate muscle growth with the least amount of work, because then what happens is you can get out of the gym, rest, recover, come back stronger, which is very hard to do with high volume, high frequency bodybuilding approaches, because you tend to overtrain. It's very hard to string together workouts where you're getting stronger over time, and that's why so many people don't have great physiques despite how much time they spend in the gym, guys. So that's really the key. That was, you know, 4 plates aside on the leg press. I wasn't going to do deadlifts or squats just because, yeah, I was already pooped at this point from the heat. So I was like, you know what, let's get some leg press in, and it felt incredible. I went a little bit too light there. I'm pretty sure I got 25 reps, but it was incredible, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.